Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, ladies. The reason why I am creating this video is number one, I'm so happy that all of you are here. But for context, for what I'm about to talk about is the fact that I did a live webinar. Excuse me. I am under the weather. I've got my tissue, I've got my throat lozenges, and I've got my tea over here. I am just recovering from a really bad cold. So last week, I did a live webinar for a really good friend of mine that is a registered dietitian. And the webinar went like 2 hours. So first of all, my content was like roughly 40, 45 minutes. And then I opened it up for Q&A at the end. And that went like over 2 hours. Well, eventually we had to just like shut it down, to be honest with you. But what I promised to do was I asked everyone to send me a DM on Instagram with their additional questions. And I would then categorize it and then make a video and send it back to them as a follow up. Right. And so some of you might be thinking, like, why would they want to hear from a health coach versus from a registered dietitian? And so there's really a few different reasons for that. So let me explain the setup. So I've got the questions right here on my computer screen. But I'm really going to try to be focusing on you guys, right? So if you see me go like this, I'm scrolling down on the questions. So first of all, a registered dietitian is clinical nutrition. They're licensed for clinical nutrition, and they are the right fit for things like clinical eating disorders, complex GI disease, significant disordered eating history. So their work can include behavioral therapy and treatment. I'm not certified to lead that, and I shouldn't. So that is beyond my scope as a health coach, as a certified nutrition coach. That's not my thing. Like I don't work in a clinical setting. But as a health coach, my lane is really like 360-degree daily life execution. So we're talking strength training, movement plans, protein fiber strategies, hydration, sleep, stress management, circadian rhythm, supplementation. And in my specific case, my program, peptide therapy and GLP-1 frameworks with medical supervision from the physicians and the clinical care team that I work very closely with. And so for a lot of her patients, they have worked through all kinds of therapies with her, and they may be ready to move on to the next stage in their wellness and join a program like mine. And so the people that signed up to be on the live webinar are very interested in what might be the next step for them. And for a lot of them, the next step is to continue on their weight loss journey. So my already friend, she asked me to come on and explain what I do, because for some of her clients, this might be the next progression once their clinical foundation is set. So now about today. So after that webinar, I said people DM'd me, and you guys did. I got over 100 questions, and I was able to kind of categorize them and narrow them down. And so I'm going to try to hit as many as possible over the next 20 to 30 minutes. Also, this is me uploading just the raw footage of this video onto Instagram. I'm going to have an edited version on my YouTube channel, Yellowbirdie Wellness. Hopefully there'll be some chapters in there so you can kind of pick and choose where you go. But I am long-winded, so just hang in there with me, because this is a lot of good information that you probably may search and search and search and able to find questions like this. So I'm going to front load the GLP-1 questions, since many of you are going to be here for facts. And then I'm going to do the program questions at the bottom half of my talk today. If you want this webinar, it's going to take me about a week to edit it. And the reason why I need to edit it is because it's like a Zoom webinar, so you can see all the people's faces and names in some instances. And since I run a medically supervised program, I don't, I want to protect their privacy. So this video will live on forever. And I don't want people picking out, oh, Mary Sue's thinking about getting on the GOP. Like, I just don't want that to happen. Right. So I need to edit it. So it's a nice, succinct webinar for you guys to look out. It'll be the same great info. So if you want to get on the list for me to send you the link to the webinar, just comment below webinar. If you don't want to publicly comment, just comment webinar in my DM and I'll put you on the list and I'll send it out to you as soon as possible. Also, a quick reality check. So now is when we plan our 2026 health. I know it's like a really busy season. Let me kind of adjust this really quick. Okay, I know this is a busy season, but this is the moment. So my January cohort is like already 70% full. We start mid-January. So if you want in, definitely at the very least comment webinar because then you'll be on my list and I will be sending you information about the program as well as just general information about GLP-1s and all the lifestyle and behavioral strategies that you can use as well. If you're interested in advanced peptide therapy strategies. So I'll be sending you information as my cohorts become available. But right now, the one that I have slated for mid-January is already 70% full. So a disclaimer, I am a coach, a health coach, a board certified coach. I'm not a doctor, although I've worked with many physicians. Nothing here is meant to be medical advice. I want you to always coordinate with your clinician before moving forward with anything medical related. So the first set of these are going to be GLP-1 questions. So let's go ahead and jump in. So number one, I was on your webinar and you didn't go above 5 milligrams of tirzepatide. Did you plateau? So just for context, I told the webinar attendees about my GLP-1 journey, which the last time I took a GLP-1 was probably 3 years ago. And I had a total of 45 pounds to lose. And this is going to sound crazy, but I had a strategy with this. I wanted to use a GLP-1 as a tool, and I went on and off of it because I wanted to develop a program that would allow a woman to say, I'm going to be able to keep this weight off without remaining on this GLP-1. Or if the woman wants to explore microdosing, maybe she's gotten to her goal weight, but she wants to do like body composition, recomposition. She has the ability to do that. So I kind of cycled on and off of it. That's not a strategy that I would normally advise, but I was trying to experiment on myself so that I could devise some protocols to help a woman use it as a tool to make those decisions. So the answer is I did start slowing down at 5 milligrams. Most people expect the answer to be that I to go up. But in my particular case, I had warning signs. So I had low blood sugar like episodes. I had delayed gastric emptying symptoms. Just think like food still sitting in your stomach for hours. I had 7.5 milligram in the refrigerator, but I still chose to titrate down to 2.5 milligrams. Later, I used a precise compounded dose briefly to finish the last amount of weight that I needed to lose. And then I returned to a maintenance microdose. But like I said, I haven't been on a full dose of semaglutide or tirzepatide for some years now. I've got a big event that's coming up early next year, and I really want to focus on body recomposition. So I might microdose again, thinking about using retatrutide. That's a whole nother exploration. But 99% of my clients are on tirzepatide. And then I also have clients that remain in the community that I work with on a monthly basis that are microdosing tirzepatide or either not on it, but they want to make sure that they keep their goal weight. So Was lower dose better? For me, yes. Dosing is a very personal response, not a ladder that you must climb. Next question. Be honest. Does higher dose equal faster results? So on averages, higher dose can equal more percent loss. That's statistical. That's what the research says. I didn't make it up. Okay. But you are an average. So the right dose would mean appetite is quieter, not gone. Your side effects are tolerable and you're losing like 0.5 to 1% body weight per week. Faster than that often means muscle loss is going to sneak in. So here's a little side story. I belong to multiple Facebook groups that are either supporting women on a GLP-1 or the last telehealth medicine company that I was with like 3 years ago, and they are still the most popular. Just think like what you see celebrities doing, right? They are the most popular uh, medical telehealth company in the world right now. But that telehealth company doesn't really manage the Facebook group. Really, what you have are people just throwing out random questions and about 100 to 300 people responding with what worked for them. Great. I hope you got your answer. That's one of the reasons why I don't recommend that route for compounded turds or sema. I just don't recommend that because I just don't think that the support is there. And I know the support is not there because typically a woman comes to me after she's gained weight with being with one of those big telehealth platforms. I'm just keeping it real. But anyway, a woman asked last week, she said, I'm only losing 2.5 pounds per week. This is going too slow. And I want to ask the clinical team to up my dose. You're going down the wrong road, sister. So really, excuse me, you want a half a pound to a pound of body weight in your first couple of weeks. You might see an increase in weight loss, and that is the inflammation starting to subside and leave your body. But anything faster than that, you really want to protect your muscle. And I guarantee you about 25% or greater of the weight you're losing is in that muscle mass. And for women that are over 40, we can't afford to lose that. Okay. Next question. I'm on 2.5 milligrams and feel nothing. Do I bump up or give it time? First, you check the basics: protein, fiber, hydration, hygiene, your steps, strength or resistance training. If those are steady and there's still no response, you should really talk with your prescriber about a modest bump, in my opinion. If side effects are already loud on a 2.5, consider holding longer or discussing a split or a tighter titration if you're on a compound that allows it. Next question. If you don't have side effects, is my dose too low? Not automatically. I didn't really have a lot of side effects. I had side effects when my dose was too high. I remember going on a cruise and I wanted to enjoy food, and just the smell of food made me want to vomit. It was horrible. So, not automatically. Some women get benefits without all the fireworks. We don't chase side effects. That's never the goal. Don't chase side effects, chase outcomes. Next question. All right. How do you avoid regaining when I stop? So, first things first, you keep the habits you built while you're on the GLP-1. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. You keep the habits you built while you are on the GLP-1. So, in my program, we use a GLP-1 window to be able to do things like learn to lift 2 to 3 times a week and be consistent about it. Muscle equals metabolic seatbelt. You're hitting the 1 to 1.6 grams per goal weight in protein. You're hitting the 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day. Your sleep is stabilizing. You're getting in your steps. And we're learning how to practice what we call taper week. Food noise tools, volume eating, structured meals. That's how you step down without the slingshot. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Next question. I have surgery in a couple of weeks. When do I pause GLP-1? You need to coordinate. If you haven't in 2 weeks, you need to have learned last week what the surgical team wants you to do. So please coordinate with your surgical team. I've heard many advise 1 to 2 weeks prior to anesthesia, but I think be conservative, not be conservative, but depending on who you are, you can be conservative, but you really need to follow whatever that surgical team is recommending, even if they don't know a ton about GLP-1s. At this point, they probably should, because they're probably seeing a lot of patients that are on GLP-1s. But then you resume per your clinician's guidance. At what point do you call yourself a non-responder? So these are people that are taking the GLP-1 and it's like nothing happening, right? So if you've been at a therapeutic dose for several months, but you've been like consistent with your nutrition and the training, and your loss is like very minimal, maybe discuss a switch in dose, or maybe you're going from semaglutide to tirzepatide. Roughly, I think it's less than 10% won't respond robustly to a given agent. It's like no matter what. So before switching, we want to audit things. I'm going to keep preaching this. You want to audit what your protein intake is, the fiber, your steps, training. You might be on other medications that may raise your appetite. And then also the timing of everything that I just mentioned. Next one is I'm getting glucose dips. How do I fix these crashes? You fix it by what I would recommend in general without really knowing you is you eat every 3 to 4 hours. You'll want to pair carbs with protein, fiber, and fat. So just some examples would be pairing Greek yogurt, berries, and chia seeds. Another pairing would be eggs, avocado, and sprouted toast. Another yummy one would be turkey and hummus plus some veggies. Maybe if you're a cottage cheese fan, I am cottage cheese, pineapple, and flaxseed. So just notice those pairings. You're getting that protein, you're getting that fiber, and you're getting in a good amount of fat and carbs. And then also remember electrolytes and hydration matter here too. Constipation, what's the actual stack? I'm guessing that this means like what to do about constipation. So number one, obviously hydration with electrolytes. I would also recommend like a good mineral like supplement. There's one brand you can get it right off Amazon. I can't remember the name, but if you DM me, I'll send you the link. I don't have an Amazon store or anything like that. I don't have time to get all this stuff together. Anyway, I'll send you the link. And so water is number one with some sort of electrolyte, 25 to 35 grams fiber. I told you I'm going to keep preaching. Produce, legumes, chia seeds, flax seeds, whole grains. Don't underestimate daily movement. You should really discuss magnesium because you know there's 5 million different forms of magnesium. You should discuss magnesium forms or dose and the dose with your clinician. We do all of that in my program for you. If needed, you can get a clinician guided stool softener if things just still won't move. I'd always recommend warm lemon water at least for a week, first thing in the morning. That usually, if you don't have any like real gut issues, that usually will get things going. And then also don't underestimate regular meal rhythm that supports your body's motility. Next question, protein target, goal weight or current weight? Is it grams per pound or grams per kilogram? Excellent question, because I know it can be very complicated. It's not current weight. It would be current weight if you were at your goal weight, right? It's to your goal weight. So think about it. If you were a 400-pound woman, I'm not going to recommend that you do 1 to 1.6 grams of protein. I'm not going to have you eat 400 plus grams of protein per day. That's kind of silly. But there's a lot of reasons why it should be goal weight. I'm not going to go into it right now, but it would, my preference and my skill set and my knowledge says it's 1 to 1.6 grams per goal weight per day. Okay. And so there is a wide variation here. That's another thing that I always see. People in these groups, they throw out how many grams of protein should I be having per day. That's such a personalized kind of calculation. You would adjust up if you lift heavy or if your appetite is high. You want to lean conservative if your appetite is low. And hitting targets is very stressful for you. So there are a lot of things that come into play here. Next question is food noise roars when I try to taper off the GLP-1. What do you actually eat? So I eat high volume plates, big salad bowls with grilled chicken and tuna. I do some bean-based soups. I do yogurt with berry and chia seeds, and I'll even put in my a favorite protein powder in there just to make sure that I'm getting in enough protein. I like crunchy veggies with hummus. My go-to right now is I get the big jumbo frozen stir-fried vegetables from Costco, or you can get them in the regular grocery store now. I'm sorry, the iron right here is like really hurting me. Let's take it off. Yeah, so get big stir-fried vegetables if you don't like stir-fry for some reason. You just get a big bag of vegetables, and then you can mix it with cauliflower rice, maybe have some edamame in there, like make it in your wok or your big pan. You've got like your vegetables for the entire week. So I'm really into that. The other thing that I'm into is this time of year, I'm meal prepping everything in my crock pot. So that means I'm dumping all my chili ingredients in there. So I'll make a lean chili. It's either going to be 90 or 93% lean beef. I will also get a whole chicken, and put in like chicken stock or chicken broth, put it in there, put some vegetables in there, cook it on high for like 5, 6 hours. I've got a whole chicken that will last me almost a week. Right. And so the other thing that I'm doing is I don't have a lot of time to meal prep. I'm an affiliate of a company called Nutrimills. You can get a big discount. I'm going to drop the code in my bio. But in my coaching program, I gift all of my clients a week of meal prep. So their meals are delicious. One of my meals every day is that simple meal prep meal. So you have to when you've got that food noise, you have to take the complication out of it. You have to oversimplify. You have to have things ready. So because your body is already telling you like to go crazy. So why not use the tools that you're learning right now to, yeah, you can go crazy, but it's going to be I'll go crazy on a plate of vegetables. All right, let's move on. How do you decide to increase a dose? Typically, in my opinion, when appetite returns and it stays, when you have a weight trend that flattens, despite, again, consistent protein steps, lifts, sleep, and hydration, there's no obvious hormonal or PMS reason. A lot of times that could be it. Then I'd probably discuss a bump with my clinician. If it was just a menstrual cycle week surge, I definitely would wait it out. And you all should be tracking your cycle so that you can kind of get that biofeedback to be able to determine what's actually going on in your body, which we do all in my program. Anyway, day one, 2.5 milligrams, her heart was racing, shallow breathing. Is this normal? So some experience heart rate elevation or kind of like a wired anxiety early or after increases. Log it and see if you can message your clinician. You really want to have kind of a little check-in with your caffeine, your hydration, electrolytes, maybe consider a slower titration. But when you're having that kind of biofeedback, like heart racing, shallow breathing, definitely reach out to your clinician, but also monitor some of those other things that to you might be a normal thing that you're doing, but that normal thing paired with your new dose might be, not the right pair. You're new to GLP-1, meal planning took me 3 hours. How do you keep it simple? So I just excuse me, went over several little tricks and strategies that you can use, but keep every meal very simple. Lunch tuna, rotisserie chicken, get one of those mini salad kits. They've got whole salad kits in already made in the grocery stores now. I would probably swap out that salad dressing that comes with it with a low fat or no fat dressing. Your snacks, some protein, ready-made protein, cottage cheese, fruit, flax seeds. See the what I'm doing here? It's like you have to keep it simple. Where you run into problems is if you think every single meal of the day needs to be completely different. Like that's just not the case, ladies. Dinner, a big pan sheet of salmon or chicken, microwave veggie steamer, quinoa cup. You don't have to become a professional meal prep influencer. You don't. I'm 7 weeks in, down 3 pounds. Should I quit? So, should I quit? Oh, so that's a half a pound a week. It's not flashy, but it's real. Audit your habits. Again, confirm the dose and the time. Semaglutide, if you're on that, that often ramps slower. Tirzepatide may feel faster for some, but also keep lifting, keep doing your strength training. Next question. I'm barely hungry at 2.5. Do I still move to 5? Not until you can eat to target without distress. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. Not until you can eat to target without distress. Advocate to hold your dose. Use smaller, frequent meals and catch up calories like later on in the week. So when your suppression eases, if you're on compounded sema or TERTs, ask your clinician team whether a smaller split might be appropriate for you. So that might be a strategy. And last question about like GLPs in general. Affordable tirzepatide with B12. What about glycine? So here's the deal. People DM me every day. How much is your tirzepatide? How much is your? I don't play the price game. I really don't. Those other companies can play the price game, but they are not providing you with the concierge service. Let me tell you, you're gonna pay for it one way or the other. Do you want to lose the weight and then yo-yo on it at, I don't know, 250, 299, 350 a month and then have to do it all again and pay that again? Like, you want to yo-yo or do you want to do it for like 6 months, 12 months until you get to your goal weight and then not have to do it again unless it's something special that you're doing, right? So I will tell you the medications that I work with are comparable to anything else out there on the market. And I think you'd be really surprised at how much of a concierge level that you could get within the program. But in terms of B12 and glycine, it really depends on your goals. The physicians that I work with, they can compound with either one. So me, you, and the clinician care team will decide what's going to be best for your particular protocol. Again, DM me webinar and I will send you the webinar once edited, but it details every single thing, the program, so that you can make a decision. You don't have to jump on a call with me unless you want to. You can make a decision right there and then by the end of the webinar. All right, this next section is specifically on my program. It is a 12-week program called the Breakproof Body Blueprint. First question, what makes your program different from just getting a script? So prescription equals a plan. We deliver concierge execution. So what does that mean? We take a muscle first protocol, muscle first strength blocks. We teach you how to be consistent and what to do so you can get to 2 to 3 times a week minimum. Protein fiber framework that really fit real life instances because we're all busy. Sleep stress hygiene. that stabilizes your hunger signals. I would say sleep, stress hygiene, and energy levels are the things that plague women the most. And those are the things that we take care of up front. Quickness. Overall, the most surprising thing that I see happening with women is that they are surprised at the level, the hands-on level of the program. So you not only get like 24/7 access to me, but you also get it to your clinical care team. You don't have to wait weeks to get in with your doctor or wait for someone to relay a message from your doctor. A lot of times we don't want to wait weeks or days to course correct if something is not working or if a symptom arises. So we want to make sure that we can course correct within 24 hours. And so I think the women are really surprised at how high touch everything is, especially for the investment of the program. So you do get a customized peptide GLP-1 strategy with us. Our clinicians do prescribe the GLP-1s, and you work with the clinical care team on that protocol. And then you also get weekly coaching from me. So the level of high touch depends on the package that you choose. It could be you and I talking just like this one time per week. We could be doing weekly check-ins where I respond to you via video or text, or it could be a combination of both. So it really depends on, where you are in your GLP-1 journey. Do I have to be an Orange Theory member? So this comes from, if I own 4 Orange Theories in the Chicago area, and I do gift my clients, if they live near one of my Orange Theories, I gift them a 3-month membership. But you can do Orange Theory, CrossFit, Pilates, boot camps. A lot of those things women have strayed away from because their bodies simply can't recover from it and they're not getting results. But once they go through the strategies in the program, just about any workout will work for them as long as it involves strength training. And so we'll design a program from the ground up for you. We have a lot of ladies that come into the program that have never even picked up a dumbbell. So we really have to meet you where you are today. We also have some advanced athletes in the program. So we design the timing or work with your specific structure of your program. We meet you where you are today. How many times should I be working out per week? A minimum 2 to 3 times per week. The program is, a lot of our women are working out 3 to 5 times per week. If they're training for something, it might require them to work out 6 times per week. That could be a mixture of strength training and cardio, like all kinds of stuff, depending on what they're training for. We've got some ladies that are training for high rocks and Spartan races and bodybuilding competitions. And we got some women that just want to be able to go to Disney World and be active with their grandkids. This program is built for women with no extra time. What if I'm not on a GLP-1? So if you're not on a GLP-1, so here's the deal. So 3 years ago, I had to really niche down because I was trying to help everyone. And where I really saw women struggling was what women that were on GLP-1s. And that is really where my energy lies. And so I know a lot of great coaches out there that I could recommend to you. But right now, my cup runneth over with helping women on their GLP-1 journey. When's the next start? So in January, mid-January, we are 70% full. All you need to do is comment webinar. When I get it edited, I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to ask for your email address because I'm going to put you into my newsletter where I'm going to make all of the date announcements for the next cohort. But you're also going to get a ton of free information and resources. If you're interested in advanced peptide therapy, you're interested in what's going on with retatrutide, you're interested in some of the other peptide therapies that the clinicians that I work with prescribed and issue individual protocols, and just really on sleep hygiene, hydration, stress management, all of those other things, we go deep. I'm also getting ready to launch my free school academy. And so I'm going to invite you all there when it's ready to launch. And yeah, those are all of I had 2 that I had written down here that came in later. I'm embarrassed to tell people I'm on a GLP-1. You don't know anyone your medical choices. I didn't even tell my husband when I was on a GLP-1. You only share if you are comfortable. Other than that, you don't owe anybody jack. I have surgery soon and I'm scared to pause. You're not alone. Message your clinical team and then work with your clinical team when you need to resume. If you're in the program, then we work on this together. All right. So, ladies, just in closing, I know life is really loud right now, but your 2026, it starts with what you choose this month. We're in November. It starts now. So if you want the replay, comment webinar. I'll send you the edited version that has no faces, no names, and the offer will be very crystal clear at the end. No call is necessary with me unless you want to do a call with me, and I'll answer all of your questions. If this helped you in any way, please tap the heart, share with a friend, drop any additional questions. And other than that, I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for today.